Welcome back to Badger's Bikepacking. It's a very cold day here. We've got the beast from the east, number 2, hitting the UK at the moment, so snow on the east coast, but on the west coast, so it's just bitterly cold. Haven't done any bikepacking for a while. Tried to go out to the New Forest, flummoxed by lockdowns and tier systems. Couldn't go into Wales because they went into lockdown, and then when I planned to go to Exmoor, they locked down, so haven't really managed to do anything. But March and April, I do have a lot of time off, so I'm really hoping that I can get and do something at least in the UK. I think my chances of going to Stockholm and cycling home or cycling around the Netherlands are pretty much gone, but I'll see what I can do. However, in the interim, I'm getting my bike's sorted out. I've got my Mason Boca TI up there. That's pretty much set to go. Looking forward to riding that bike. Good for carrying maybe 50-55 litres of gear. Not very good though for taking that gear off-road, whereas something like Trek 1120, you can get around 70-75 litres comfortably with this bike, and maybe a small rucksack, but importantly you can do it stable off-road, which is why I've gone for that bike. But this bike I'm not particularly happy with a couple of features. One is that it's relatively slammed and there's a little bit of pressure and weight on my arms. I can maybe deal with that by riding with the saddle a bit further back and putting a bit of a weight aft. And the other thing is the saddle was not particularly good, the one it came with. So the saddle's gone. I've got this SMP Advent on there. This shouldn't really be on. It's maybe not suitable. I maybe need a little bit more of a position. But the bars, I've changed those out. I want a bit more rise. So rather than start changing the stem or anything like that, I've just gone for these Jones H-Loop bars. I'll show you that. You'll see the pictures of them in the video coming up on a ride that I've just recently done. Also got some new grips because the old grips on the original bars were awful. These are SE extra chunky grips. You'll get my comments on those, and I've also got a bar bag that Jones do that fits within the loop effectively, and I'll let you have a look at that as well. Now these Jones bars, I've seen a lot of bikepacking videos on YouTube where people have been riding with them, so I thought, oh, there's got to be something in there, and there are lots of other options that are very similar, but these tend to come out reasonably well and get some good comments. Apparently very comfortable. They have a 45-degree sweep, whereas my original ones had a 20-degree sweep. For me, my thoughts were that actually by going for 45-degree sweep, I was pulling my elbows in and actually maybe putting some pressure onto my wrists. So not convinced. Again, you'll see what I think. Also, of course, you get loads more real estate with that H-loop, so I can get my head unit on there. I tend to take a second head unit with AAA batteries for longer distance rides, and you've got lights and you've got a camera, feed bags, things like that. So it's nice to have that little bit extra real estate. Like an option for getting into a tri position when I'm on the road. I can maybe talk about that briefly in the video. These are the 660mm version. You can get a 710mm version. The only difference is literally there's an extra 2.5 centimeters on each end of the bar. So you could buy the 710, and if you didn't like the width there, you could just chop them down, and you should be good to go. So that is one option. I went straight for the 660 because I do tend to like doing single track and narrower paths. The bars were very hard to get hold of. I've been waiting for about 2 months to try and get some. They're made by Jones in the US. They didn't have any stock for quite some time, only the silver ones. You can get black ones as well. I wanted the black ones. They didn't have any in stock, and even if they did, the shipping costs were pretty much as the bars themselves, and then you've got import duty. So I went to a company called Bothy Bikes in the UK, which are around Monmouthshire sort of area. They didn't have them in stock, but I let them know via email to say, look, they're back in stock with Jones, can you get some? They were fantastic. Their website isn't great, but they've got loads of good makes in there. So if you want these bars in the UK, then a good place to go, Bothy Bikes. What I also got was the grips and the bag. The grips are the SE extra chunky. I'm happy with a bit of extra comfort, although it's going to mean my hands are a little bit more opened up and maybe not as comfortable, but I think it should be okay. And then the bag, which you'll see in the video. Some of the comments online were saying that Jones Cycles builds their bikes around these bars, so the bike's geometry is matched with these bars in terms of handling, etc. Some people online saying if you buy these bars and just fit them onto your normal bike, that you may need to shorten the stem a little bit in terms of handling, on something to do with the reach. I haven't done so, but yeah, you'll see what my comments are later on in the video. Other people commenting to say they're particularly stable, these bars. So when you're going downhill, to be out on the edges of the bars is a very stable position. We'll see. I've got there's a couple of down hills on the ride that I've done, so you'll see what my comments are on that. Another thing is about hand positions. So you've got quite a long bar there, grip to hold onto, so you can be on the ends, up near the levers, or you can be further up, or maybe even right up onto the H-loop side of it. Some other people have said that there's an issue with roll bags if you're going to fit those because of the amount of sweep, and I'm guessing it's because of the amount of sweep. It's about how you fit the bar bag and its stability. I'm not entirely sure. I think it should be okay personally, but I can see that if you've got a really long bag that you can't fit it further out because your bars effectively on the ends are sweeping back. So that's it. Hope you get something from the video. Anyway, get to have a chance to have a look at the bars. This is just an initial thoughts on what I think. I'm planning to do a good 500 miles on this in the next 3-4 months, up in Scotland maybe, or in Wales, I don't know yet, but a good 500 miles, so anywhere from 5 to 10 days really, somewhere in that region. So I want something that's going to be really comfortable, and so that really is the big push for me, is to just go try and refine that as much as I can. So hopefully you find the video useful. Like and subscribe. If you give it a thumbs down, then by all means, but if you could put a comment in the comment section, then I understand what I need to do with my video. Thank you. Okay, I've got the bars on, out for a ride. It's about a 40-mile ride, a little bit more mud than I was expecting. This was meant to be a drove, but it's just turned into a load of farmers' fields connected, and I just know with the amount of mud that I've gone through that I'm going to have to turn around and go all the way back and then back up that hill again, because I bet you the farmers blocked it at the other end. So that's probably going to end in disaster, this route, but there we go. Yeah, the bars went on real easy, coated in mud, but that's what you expect from a bike like this, and it's certainly up to it. Breezing through the mud. All I could do was taking a little bit of pressure out. The bars went on real easy. The bag looks a really good quality bag. The zip hasn't been tested in the rain, but all the seals, I've been around it. Looks like it's really well put together. My only thoughts were that if you were going to fit a roll bag under here and tie them onto the main bars, that you couldn't have this Jones bag as well, because your main roll bag is going to push up. So I'm not sure if that would work. This is maybe a day trip bag. I don't really worry because I've got the rack down at the bottom, but there you go. The bars themselves really surprisingly comfortable. I had my doubts about it because I thought my wrist was just going to be crucked in the whole time, but actually it's not. It just feels a natural riding position. Right down here is really stable, and online people have said that as well. Very stable going downhill. I can still reach with my finger onto the brakes. I'll then spend the rest of my time up here tucked in and holding onto the brakes if I really need them, and then on the road I found myself right up here, just holding on, a very comfortable position. Almost feels like you're on some normal gravel bike hoods. So yeah, feels really good. So I'm really surprised. So like I say, 45 degree sweep. These are the 660mm version, and I'm going to keep on trying and see what I think. The last bars that I had, I really didn't think that I could go through. There was just too slammed on this bike that I could do 500 odd miles off-road on that, but this isn't easy. I mean, it's so much more comfortable. I'm yeah, converted to these bars very quickly. Just as soon as I started riding, I just thought this feels right. But early days, I've only done 10 miles. I've got another 30 to go, mostly off-road, no, mostly on-road, about 80% on-road. But it'll give me a good feel for the bars. it's turning out to be a nice day. Halfway I'm going to stop and get some food going, and I'll give you any other thoughts that I've got on them. Okay, well, I'm going to get on to the next off-road section because the guy's just walking back up, so it's about 3 feet deep, so I'm about to kiss that off, which caused me a bit of a problem getting to my next bit of off-road. The only way to get to there is a whole load of main roads, and I'm not too keen on main roads right now. I'm actually starting to get a bit hungry. It is a very cold wind, so I'm going to try and head home if I can. Got 20 miles done. I can do another 10 on the way home. See if I can find somewhere just to chill out and cook something up to eat. Failing that, will be a hungry ride home. Bars continue to be great, really stable, really comfortable riding position. Brilliant. I think one of the best buys I've made on bikes, and I've made quite a few buys on bikes, kit and so on. These are one of the best purchases because they add quite a lot more comfort, really nice riding position, just right for this bike and me. So that's good news for me. Anyway, let's see if I can get home now. Can't get through there. Well, I can get through this little bit, but I can't get through what's ahead. I can just see, I know it gets shallower, the land over there. I can see where the water's gone over. Been there before, so I think that's it. Turn around, head home. Which is a bit of a shame because I'm really starting to get hungry. Hopefully I can still find somewhere to stop. We'll see. Oh, what a cold day. Okay, that's me complete. If you've got any questions about the bars, then let me know. Overall, I think they're really comfortable. What a clever idea, having that amount of sweep. Love the extra real estate on the top. The little bag that fits in there is fantastic, but like I say, you might want to avoid that if you've got a big roll bag that you're going to try and tie up under those bars. But really comfortable, really stable downhill. Quite a few good hand positions. Yeah. Win. Yeah, a few little snags. I can see that if when you get a heavy bike, the bars will roll in, and so the front wheel will roll in towards the wall that you just leant it against. Happened a couple of times to me, but it wasn't particularly heavy. So, you could see it was just starting to go. So you put something heavy onto the front, and I can just see it swinging over. But otherwise, they're really lovely bars. Yeah, big thumbs up from me. One of my best buys. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, of some use. If you wanted to subscribe, any other gear I get, I'm certainly going to put out reviews on, and I've got quite a lot of other gear that I'll start just putting out reviews on here and there. So anyway, like and subscribe if you can, and by all means ask any questions in the comments. Cheers for now.